I couldn't really settle down for some kind of things.
Oh, so that means that you're almost clueless on the last class.
Okay, exactly.
Okay, so who went through the last class? Mrs. Debbie. What? Remote. Can't carry it now. Mrs. Debbie, did you go through the last class? Mrs. Debbie, is she hearing me? Mrs. Debbie Peters. Or is it Mr. Debbie that is there? Is it Mr. Peters that is there? Anybody should I don't think they're hearing you. Adekoya, did you go through the last class? Ayo, mute your mic. Adekoya, can you hear me? Adekoya. Aisat and Mrs. Debbie. I want to be sure that it's because I don't know if you guys are hearing me. Unmute your mic if you can hear me. Unmute your mic and speak, please. Mrs. Debbie. Okay, I think Adekoya has unmuted her mic. Can you hear me? Adekoya, did you go through the last class, the video from for the last class that I made? Ayo, how about you? Did you go through the last video, the video for the last class? Mr. David, welcome, sir. Unmute your mic. Did you go through the
Good
last? Did you go through the video for the last class?
I just go through I go through it, but I didn't just finish it.
But were
Just
you able
paraphrase
to
it.
understand the main
Uh,
concepts?
yes, I follow this. I follow up with the sequence. I follow up
Yes,
with
I
the
did.
All right.
Yes, I went through it.
Okay. Um. Who again? Who again? Who again? Blessing. Do you hear blessing? Did you go through the last video? The video for the last class.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Omatule, how many of your people are not here from your group?
Um, I think or three of them.
Okay, I want you to check up on them after the class, please. Do you hear blessing? How many of your people are not here in the class?
Majority of us are not here.
All right, please. I would like you to check up on them after the class, please. You and your people, the people that are here, just try and check up on them. Yeah, how you do. All right, so let's move on to today's class so that we'll try and meet up. So I'm just going to do a refreshment for those that did not go back to look at it. So last
I
week,
wasn't able to download it because of my slow network.
no problem. Are you just hearing me? I asked you since. Are you just hearing me now, Ayo? I think people's network is slow. All right, so let's move on.
What's that? So
All right. So last week we were talking about Zoe. Let me hear something. So last week we were talking about how to create mini apps with Google Opal, and I was trying to explain some concepts to you, but my network was very bad. So I did a video to explain how you can build simple mini apps using Google Opal. And I explained that building an app starts with um, looking for a problem and then solving a problem. That's what every app does. That every app, every application solves a problem. I explained that, and I think last week, I used or the last class that I did, I designed an app where, for little kids, where let's say you have a child and you're always busy, but you want like a kind of a mini lesson teacher that can help to simplify difficult topics for your 12-year-old. Yeah, so that was what I did, and we built a wonderful app, and I really wanted the people to try something so that when we come today, we'll move on from the class. But I felt like a lot of people did not really have the time to go back to it. So today I wanted to show you how to build apps automatically. I'm not going to go back to that class, so I want you to go back and look at that class so that you understand this one. Although you still understand this one without going to look at that one, but that one is very, very necessary, because what that one does is it will show you how to write out a workflow, how to define a workflow properly, because every works on a workflow. Every agent works on a workflow. I explained to you that if, for example, you have a secretary and you want your secretary to carry out a task for you, you have to explain it to her. You tell her, okay, what I want you to do is go to the photocopier. I want you to photocopy 2 sheets of this document for me, then sign it, then take it here, then do this, then write an email. All that is called a workflow, and it is exactly the same with AI, right? So today I wanted to do something different. So today I wanted to teach you how to build what I call a social media, or how do I put this now? How do I call this app? I've been looking for a name to give the app. So let's call it a content evaluator. Let's call it a content evaluator if that makes sense. So let me explain. I will explain the problem, then I will explain the solution. So what is this app going to be doing? Now you know that one of the major problems when people want to post content, one of the major issues that they have is knowing if this content is likely to perform well, right? People always bothered if the content will do well, will it perform well, is my hook good, is my content good, what about my CTA, that is the call to action, is it good, will people even want to engage with it? You get, that's always one of the problems that people always think about when it comes to creating content, because people they want to have views, right? People want to have views, people want people to engage with their content, but a lot of people don't know how to create content that are engaging, content that can hook. A lot of people don't understand storytelling, and the content world today is really built around storytelling. When I mean storytelling, I mean that you can tell is one of the things about storytelling is the ability to hook a viewer to the story, to make the story interesting. If you watch those days when we used to go and buy CD cassettes and the rest, and you watch, that is storytelling. And some movies, they glue you to the screen from the beginning to the end, right? It is not really different from content. If you understand the principle behind it, you can reproduce that result. That is always how I think. I always try to understand the principle behind why something works. Because if something is working, there is a reason why that thing is working. It's not just working because of luck. That's why you see that even in the social media space, there are people who always get consistent high views. Anytime they post a content, people engage with it, right? And sometimes some people will even make bold claims and say that they are very certain that anytime they post an ad or they do anything, people are always going to engage with it, right? At that point, again, you cannot say that it is luck. You cannot call that luck, right? There must be some form of principle that that person might be following consciously or unconsciously, that is making the content to always trend or do well. There's a popular content creator. His name is Disney, right? People are always hooked. Whenever that guy drops a video, people are always hooked to the screen. That means they're always looking forward to watching the guy's content. Why? Because the guy understands storytelling, and everybody has a way they tell their stories, right? So I used to ask myself that, is there a way that you cannot adequately predict if the content will do well, but is there a way that you can use AI to proof test your content, right? To know if this content is good, if the topic is even something that people will be interested in. Because you can have a topic that people might not be interested in. And another thing, you can have a topic that people are interested in, but the way that you present that topic, people will not engage with it because you didn't present it in a, even though you had a good topic, but the way you presented it, the hook was flawed, everything was flawed. So I now ask myself, what if we can build an AI that understands the psychology behind virality, that is behind why contents go viral, the psychology behind why people stop to view or or engage in people's posts, such that when you have a content idea, you can feed it to that AI and say, this is the idea that I want to talk about. I want you to rate this my idea, rate my hook, rate the relatability, rate the storytelling, rate this, rate a lot of things and score them over 10, right? So for example, you can give it your content idea and then the AI will analyze it and maybe and then tell you something like, okay, based on the hook, your hook is not tight enough. Okay, I would like adjust this, adjust that. And then if it gives you at least an 8 over 10 for that particular content, then you know that it's good to go. But anything that is below 6, you will now optimize. That means you do well. It will give your content better chances of performing well. So now I've established the problem and talking about the solution that I would like to use AI to create. So I said, okay, if this can work, then if we can kind of program an AI, an app that will be meant for that. So anytime you have a content, all you just need to go is go online and then paste in your content idea, and then it will analyze it, tell you if it's going to do well or something. So I think we are going to be using one. Is there anybody that is currently creating content actively on the social media space? Because I always like our classes to be engaging and live. So is there anybody that is currently active on social media so that we can use that person, maybe use one of the person's contents to do an analysis? Is there anybody? You cannot tell me that this whole class, nobody is creating content. If all of you are not creating content, it's bad though. Because content creation is the new oil
I
money. Oh.
was actually
All right. All right, we'll
something
use you.
up.
All right, we'll use you, Matule.
No,
So just you are creating content, right?
that was before.
So why did you stop?
No, the platform, I don't know. It was YouTube actually, so they had to
They took
send
it
on
down.
my. Yes.
Okay, so you don't have no TikTok, no IG. So nobody here is doing TikTok or IG.
No.
Ah, this is bad. Oh. Blessing, you are not doing TikTok or IG. Do you hear blessing?
I'm not.
Eh? Hmm. This is bad. Oh yeah, after today, everybody go and open your IG and TikTok account. Drop it. Everybody will follow everybody. If you are saying, "Oh, I will not have followers," when you drop it, everybody will follow everybody, and then you start putting out your content one by one by one by one, because you cannot tell me that. I mean, anyway, we'll get to the part where we'll teach you about social media and creating content in general. We've not yet gotten to that part of the course yet, but the time will come where we'll have to teach you the whole thing about creating content. So I believe everybody has understood the problem that we are trying to solve, right? Are we clear on the problem and what we are trying to do? Because everybody needs to be clear on what we are working on. Because everybody will have to test that app individually and then leave a review on our WhatsApp platform. So are we clear on the problem that I stated? Is it clear to everybody? Do we all understand the problem that we are trying to solve? Mr. David, do you understand? Is it clear? Unmute your mic, Mr. David. Is there light?
Come
Please let
again.
me change over.
Come again.
I said, do you understand the problem that I just stated that we are trying to solve? Thank God. Ah. Thanks, man, so much. All right. It's not supposed to take time like this. Sure. I'm so sorry for that. My Wi-Fi went off. Hello, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can
Uh,
hear
Yes, sir,
you.
we
sorry,
can.
sorry, please. They brought light, so when they tried to change over, the Wi-Fi went off. All right, so back to what I was saying. So I believe we are clear on the problem that we are trying to solve now, right? The social media content creation problem, right? I believe we are all clear. So today, last week, this is. I hope you are seeing my interface. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen so that you can see. Can you guys see my screen now? Are you guys seeing my screen? This someone should confirm. Are you
Yes, we
guys
can.
all right? All right. You can see the
Yes, we can
Opal
see.
the Opal app, right? This interface, build, edit,
Mm.
and share many apps.
Yes,
All
okay.
right. So I explained that when you come. So first of all, you come to opal.google. This is the website here. Opal.google. opal.google. So once you are in the website, if you are using a laptop or maybe a Windows interface, even if it's on your phone, this is where you will come. So when you come, you see create new, and then if you scroll down, you'll see a lot of all these are templates. I think someone is trying to join. Let me admit that person. Let me admit this person. Um, all right, so back to what we are saying. So when you come, you see an interface like this. So you just come to create new. So when you click on create new, it takes you to this new interface. Now I explained that whenever you're building a mini app, or whenever you're building an app on Google Opera, there must something you must understand. There are actually three workflows, which is the input, the process, and then the output. So in the manual way that I described, if you click on input, a box will show. So you take it to the side, you click on generate, and then you click on the output. So input is literally the information that you put in. So let's say, for example, this app that we are trying to build, So let's say, for example, you type in, here is where you will type in the content ID that you want to analyze. And when you type it here, it takes it to the generate. So this place that is generate, this is the place where the AI will process the information, like process the information that you give, that you put in this place, and then put it the way you want, and then give it out to you in the output, right? So this is a workflow. So what is basically saying is, when I give you the input, process it, and then you give me the output. So from input to processing to the output. So let's just and another thing that I said, that's why you have to go back and watch that video for you to get everything. So like I said, but this is just like a basic workflow, right? You can create as many steps as you want, right? You can create as many steps as you want to create, depending on the project that you are working on. And then I defined that another thing that makes this Google Opal, this AI agent, very, very wonderful, is because you can actually choose the task that you want every agent to handle. For example, if you give your assistant, your personal assistant, a task and tell her to maybe write your email, and then give you some, maybe generate some pictures for you, or maybe you are telling her to send in a draft or write a voicemail, whatever it is that you're asking her to do, you can do the same with this AI agents here, right? And another thing that makes it really unique is that you can get to choose what agent you want to work with. So let's say, for example, after giving it the input, I want you to generate pictures. So I can just come here. Now, this interface, if you want to adjust anything, like if you want to write down any step for each of these boxes, where you do it is here. You come here, see where my cursor is. This is where you come to write any of the steps. So for here, if I want to write anything here, I come here. So let's say, for example, what I want to write here is, what is your content idea? That's what will show. What is your content idea? Right? So, okay, first, before you even start doing everything, the first thing to do is to connect it. You must connect your steps, right? So what the purpose of the connecting is to let the AI know that from this step, I want you to move to this one. Remember, there is a workflow. So what they're saying is, from this step, move to this step. Don't move from this step to this step unless you have a reason why you want to move from that step, right, to the next step. So let me do that again. You can move to any step. It depends on the workflow that you want, right? You can move from here to here. Do you get? You can move to anywhere that you want, but pending what I want to do, I want it to move from here to here and then to here, right? Your workflow might include that it moves from here to here and then to another one and then to here. Depending on what you want to do, which you will understand. Don't worry, don't try to confuse yourself. You are going to understand it with time. So let's say you move from here to here and then from here to here. That's a very simple workflow. That means, from the input, what is your content idea, and then you give it what it wants to do, and then it gives you the output. So you need to go back and watch that video for you to really understand. This manual process is very, 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 very important. But that's not what we are focusing on today. So go back and watch the video. So for today, we are going to be looking how to build apps automatically. That means with just a prompt, right? It's just a prompt. Now you see that it was good for me to teach you about prompt engineering before we got into building apps, right? We needed to first of all understand how to write a prompt before we got into this part of learning how to build applications. Because if you don't even understand how to build prompts, when you come to this part, you are going to mess up. So because of the complexity of the app that I want to build, I don't want to, because I have the idea. Now remember that, first of all, I have the idea of what I'm trying to build, first of all, right? But because maybe sometimes, that sometimes AI will understand AI better. AI can build a prompt that an AI would understand better. But first of all, it will need me as an anchor to give it a direction for how I want it to write that prompt. So for this app that we're going to be building, you can decide to type the prompt with your head, but I want to use an AI to write out the prompts, then I'll paste the prompts here. So we are just, remember, everything we are doing here is free tools. We are still in the era of free tools. So everything that I'm teaching you, you can do it with free tools. This Google Opal is free. It's actually still an experiment. So will you be using ChatGPT? And so let's move to ChatGPT. Are you seeing the? Okay, let me change the screen so that you can see the ChatGPT. Um. Okay. All right. So let's use ChatGPT for this one. Are you guys seeing anything on the screen? Are you seeing the screen, the current screen that I'm sharing, ChatGPT? Hello.
No, it's just the logo
It's just
furnaces I'm saying.
okay.
Okay, yeah, we can see it now. I can see it now.
Okay, you can see the ChatGPT now, right?
Okay, it's now.
All right. So let's head on. Um, go to new chat.
Yes, can.
All right. So we are going to use ChatGPT to build a very simple prompt. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to dump my ideas to ChatGPT, and then when I dump my ideas, the ChatGPT knows what to do. It will help me to put the ideas together. So I think I don't know if it will allow me to use voice. I would like to use my voice to, I like to use my voice to dump the ideas to ChatGPT. Let me see if it will be able to pick my voice. Please mute your mic, or I can hear some of you talking. Mute your mic. All right, I'm going to use the voice option. Zoe, stop making noise. Okay, so I'm going to use the voice option to dump in my ideas. So let's go. Hello, ChatGPT. So I want to build a mini app using Google Opal for my content creation work. So I'm going to explain the concept behind the app, and what I want you to do is to analyze my idea and give me every piece of information that I want, but just hear the idea out first. So you know that there are contents that perform well on social media, and not every content performs well. There is a psychology, or should I say, there are principles to good content creation. And so the goal of this app really is just to analyze my idea. So whenever I give you an idea, whenever I give Google Opal an idea, what I want you to do is to analyze the idea and rate it over 10. Tell me how strong the hook is. Tell me the relatability, everything that is needed to give a content a better chance of doing well. I want you to include it in that prompt. And then I also want you to suggest, right, a better way to frame it. Let's say, for example, that the hook was rated at 4/10, or maybe 5/10, or whatever. You can recommend. I want you to the app to also recommend a stronger and a better hook, right, or the body or the CTA, whatever it is, and then rate it over 10. So that's what I want. I hope you understand what I mean. All right. So that saves me a lot of time. I really type with my chat GPT. Just that this is not my main chat GPT. So I just hope that it's able to understand me very well. But let's see what it gives us. Okay. Let's go and look at what they gave us. It has given us the prompts. Okay. All right. So it says, yes, I understand what you're trying to build. And I think it's good fit for Google of all these things. So you see, even you see the way ChatGPT. I've not even this will be the first time I'm using this ChatGPT. You can see it here that this is the first thing that I'm using on this chat. I've never even used the ChatGPT on this particular Gmail before. But you see that it had to organize everything first into a workflow. So you see why workflows are very, very important. In fact, the world revolves around workflow. Everything revolves around having a solid workflow. So the first thing it did was to give me the workflow, like it wrote out here, the workflow. First of all, inputs, content idea. So from the content idea, script, hook, carousel, and it explained everything. Analysis. The app scores every important element individually. It's just explaining what the app will do. So that means that it clearly understands what I meant. So it is going to score the app based on the hook strength. You know what a hook is in the content? A hook is the first thing that you say that gets viewers to stop scrolling. You know that when you're scrolling on social media, you're just scrolling down, you're just scrolling up, and then suddenly somebody just says something, or you see a visual that interrupts that pattern of strokes or scrolling, and then you automatically you stop to hear what the person has to say, or you stop to watch the video. That is called a hook, right? Just like the way you fish, right? You know, a hook is used to catch a fish. So that's where that word comes from, a hook. So every content, the first piece of your content, in fact, the first 3 seconds of whatever content that you put out on social media, if you do not have a strong hook, even if your message is great, people may pass it. That's why it starts with a great hook. So it says hook strength, it will rate it, and then relatability. That means how can people relate to this content? The curiosity gap, right? The emotional impact. All these things are important in good storytelling and creating content. Clarity. That means is it clear enough for people to understand? Novelty, value density, storytelling. Remember, we spoke about storytelling, credibility, audience fit, right? Shareability, savability. All these ones have comment potential, right? There are content that you post and people don't comment, even if it's a good right content. There is something that gets people to comment. That's why some people will say something like comments. The people might say something like, if you have or if you've experienced this before, comment your experience in the comments or put your experience in the comment section, and then people will go and comment. If you don't give people a reason to comment, they will not comment, right? And then it will even give a virality potential and then a call to action. Remember, I spoke about the CTA. A call to action is what leads a viewer to take an action. Let's say, for example, that you do a video talking about, let's say, for example, you sell clothes, right? And you did an advertisement video for your clothes. If no matter how great that advertisement video was, if you do not have a good CTA, that is a good call to action, people are not going to respond, right? People are not going to respond. A CTA is always important. That's why you see some people that do a lot of tech content, they will tell you, they will just give you something very mind blowing, and then they will tell you, if you want my prompt, comments intelligence, and then I will send it to you, and then that is a call to action. So you must know if your call to action is good enough, and then everything. So let's see the prompts that it gave us. Where's the structure? Okay, this one is just the structure. But I think he gave us the prompt somewhere. I think he gave us the prompt. Okay, let me ask you to write out the prompts now. All right. So one thing that I would like the app to do also, I would like Google Opal to ask, for example, to ask if the content is for YouTube or is for TikTok or is for Instagram. So I'm going to include it there. Write out the prompts, but I would also like for Google Opal to ask if the to ask what platform the content is for. So in brackets, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I hope you know that there are content that you can post on IG, and then when you post it on TikTok, for those that do content, it will not perform well. If you take it to Facebook, it might not perform well. There are content that will perform well on Facebook, or if you take it to TikTok, it might not perform well. Or if you take it to, in fact, Facebook and IG content, they have two different energy. Facebook content might even do well small on TikTok, but once you take it to IG, is just a different set of people in IG. Then not to talk of X, right? and trade and the rest. So every social platform has contents that do well. All right. So the reason why I keep emphasizing on it, writing the prompt so that I can paste into Google Opal, is so that the AI can know that this particular prompt is for Opal. So what it will do is that it will optimize the prompt the way that Opal understands, but I'm still going to add it to optimize the prompt in the way that Google Opal. Let me give a space here. Optimize the prompt in the way Google Opal will understand. All right, so let's kick in. So we're just gonna wait for the prompt to come out, and then we'll take it to Google Opal. All right, so we have our prompt ready. All right, so we have the prompts ready here. So we are going to copy this. You see, everything that we wrote, it gave us everything that we wrote. Row, yeah. So it gives it a row. Remember, in when we're talking about prompt engineering, last week's class, I added another step in prompt engineering. I added a row, which I said that it's good to always give your AI a role so that the AI understands what they are doing. So in this role, the AI will be playing the role of an expert content performance auditor. That means that it's not just a regular person looking at content. It's somebody who has studied content. When you give AI a role like this, what you do is you limit the scope of the scope of what it has to search through, right? So you to know what to look for, because as if you are an expert in a field, then that means you are privy to a certain form of knowledge. So that's exactly what you are doing with AI. So you just help you to know the knowledge that you should go for. So we'll copy it. Let's copy this prompt. Let's copy this prompt. So now we'll go back to Google Opal. Let's go to Google Opal. I'm going to have to switch back again to Google Opal. So let me switch back to Opal. All right. So can you guys see the Opal on the screen? Let me know if you guys are seeing it, because I think it takes a while for you to switch. Let me know when you start seeing it. Are you seeing it now? Someone should be with me, or
Yes.
unmute your mic, or someone unmute your mic so you can follow me. So you can see it now. So
Yeah,
what
we
you
are
do
seeing
is
it.
that you now come
Yes,
to
I can
this
see.
place. You come to this place that says describe what you want to build, right? Then you paste in that prompt. The prompts that we copied from our chat GPT. Let me come. I think this prompt was very, very, very long that this guy gave us. All right. Okay. I have to go and copy manually. So we have our content, our this thing here. We have our this thing here. So let me adjust something at the beginning. You are an expert. This. All right. So now that we have this thing ready, I'm just cross-checking something. All right. So when you are done, all you just need to do is click on this, and then you notice something that will happen here. It is going to define the workflow, because when you give it the prompts, right, it still has to follow a workflow, right? So when it finishes interpreting the prompt that we give, what it's going to do is that it's going to show us the workflow, like the workflow that would have created if we wanted to do it manually. So let's just give it a while for it to show us our workflow. All right. Okay. So you see, it defined the workflow automatically for us. So this first workflow is to specify I think the first workflow is to specify the platform, and then the second workflow is to put our script, right? So let's say now let me come back to you guys now. Omatule, what were you doing on your content when you were doing when you were still doing social media? What were you posting on your page rather? Or wait, what were the things you were talking about on your content? Let's use one of your ideas and evaluate it.
Okay, I wasn't really talking as at that time. I
Okay.
was just doing this normal content of someone braiding her own hair. Yeah,
Okay.
that was what I was doing.
All right. Okay, we are going to need a kind of content that we can use for IG. You can just give us a random content idea, something. If you create content, let's say you talk about something. Who can anybody? No one.
Maybe talking about Christianity or
No, let's not use
being
Christianity.
a dead person.
Let's not limit it.
Why your can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why your circuit breaker always trip off?
Okay, that content now is for that content now will already has an audience because it's gonna be for people who are either into electrical engineering, or people who want to or have a problem related to that. Okay, that's good. That content has an okay. Let's use your own. You say why your circuit breaker always trips off, right? Is that what you said, Mr. Burns?
Trip, yes.
All right, so let's paste it here. So if you look on the right hand side, you will see that we have the AI automatically did this for us, and then it defined our workflow. When we launch it, you will see there will be a place to specify if you want to use it for Instagram or X. The platform that you choose will determine how the AI will, look at the information. Then after that, we'll paste our content ID. When we paste our content ID, the next step that it does is to come here, right? So what it basically means is that it's going to be using. Let me explain this workflow so that it's not confusing. What it means that it is the information that you give from these two steps that will lead to this step. So you can see the way this thing leads from this first workflow. So this is A, it leads here. This one also leads here. So these two information is relevant for this particular step to make its decision. You can add as many information that, for example, we can decide to add let's under here, and then to ask for this audience, what is it for? But let's just allow the AI to determine the audience for us. So from there, it will come here. This is where it will analyze everything, and then here is where it will give us the output. So to run it, we'll come to this side. Make sure that it's on the preview. Like make sure that it's on preview. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic. Who is that? Mr. Brains, mute your mic. Thank you. So you come here and you click on start. So when you click on start, you see it comes to the first step. You can see how this thing is rolling on the first step. It says specify target platform. That means Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, Thread, or YouTube. Mr. Brain, let's assume that your content is for TikTok. So we write TikTok and then we send it. Once we send it, you see, it moves to the second workflow. You can see that it's following the workflow. You can see where this line is moving. It says paste your script, caption, or hook here for analysis. Mr. Brent says why your circuit breaker always trips off. Right? So we'll click on run, and then when we click there, you see it comes to the third workflow. This is the third step. You see, it's coming here now and it is running here. Please make sure you go back to that first video, because the first video is what will help you to understand everything about this workflow. I really took my time to explain it. This is very, very important. So you are going to give it some time, not too long. It says conducting 15-point TikTok audit. So it's auditing your idea to see if the idea is likely to do well. If you are entering into creating content, this is a very, very big hack for you. And after this class, I'm going to share the app with you, right? And what I want there, let me start giving you the assignment for next week. The assignment is for next week is for everybody to create a simple app, right? I don't care whether you're using the manual or the automatic method, but create an app. When you create an app, I'm going to drop a link. You submit it there as the assignment, but you will also post it on the group. Everybody has a group. So you post your app on the group, and then the people in your group will try it out. The people in your group will try your app out. You see, it's currently at the last step. That's why it has moved from here to here. You can see that the thing is here and it's done now. So let's wait for the output. So the people in your group will look at your content, I mean your app, and then they will comment on it, what you did. And then me too, I'm going to be looking at everybody's app as well. So that's the assignment for next week. So let's look at the result. TikTok performance audits. Strategic optimization audit, why your circuit breaker always trips off. Current score. So it's scoring this content 4.2 over 10. That's not really, that means there's something, maybe the way you position the hook. I'm sure that the problem there is that hook. But let's look at it. It says, right, I said the problem was the hook, right? And it says here that the hook strength is 4 over 10. That means that based on that hook that you gave, people are more likely to scroll apart, right? So, but there's a way you can adjust the hook, right? And it will make it better. And I'm sure it's going to suggest that for us. So it says the hook strength is 4 over 10. That means that the way you hooked it is not good. SEO and keywords 9 over 10. Subtitle strategy 2 over 10. Looping potential 3 over 10. Which means that there is a lot to do on this content before you post it. So it now gives the strength that it has a high search intent. That means that there are a lot of people that are likely to search for this content, right? And then it has a relatable consumer pain point and a clear professional authority. But here's the weakness. It tells you that the content's hook is passive, that the hook is not urgent enough. That means that somebody sees it, it doesn't really trigger them that much to want to click to watch the content. And then it says lack of kinetic typography, and it says that the missing engagement triggers. That means the things that trigger people to watch, that hook does not have it. Then it gives you your improvements. It says the original hook was why your circuit breaker always trips off. So it gives you an improvement, and the improvement is stop flipping your breaker back on until you watch this. So this thing gives the way it position this hook now, it makes it look more urgent. If you are doing YouTube and TikTok, you understand that the way it positions this hook now makes it more urgent. That means you may think, stop flipping. If somebody is saying stop flipping your breaker back on until you watch, you might be thinking, let me watch it though, so that before I go and flip my breaker on, let me not go and put fire in my house. So it gave you an optimized hook that instead of using this, use this. So let's proceed to see. It now gives you the final optimized draft rather. Stop tripping. The script, if you are consistently resetting this script, you are likely risking electrical fire. Here are 3 ways. So it gives, this is more like the body of the content. If you are constantly resetting this switch, you are actually setting electrical fire. Here are 3 ways why. Number one, overloaded circuit, short circuit. This one is just for his brother brains that will understand this part. So there are a lot of things that we can add to this, right? There are a lot of things, right? We can go back and tell it to always to give us the body, right? The body of the content, better. Anything that you can play around with this thing the way you want, right? This output that it gave us is because of the input that I wanted, right? I just wanted to check if the hook is okay and to give me a better hook and the rest of the thing. But you can decide to stretch it. You can even ask it to help you and create the content for you, right? And to give you a CTA, whatever you want, all you just need to do is on your ChatGPT, you tell ChatGPT what you want, and then ChatGPT will give you the prompts. But if you understand how to use workflows, right? If you understand how to use workflow, like I explained in the last video that I posted, all you would just need to do is come here and add the workflow what that you want, and then it will save you the stress of always going to ChatGPT. That is why this workflow is very, very important. For example, if I wanted to add another step whereby I ask it to ask us the audience, all I'll just need to do is come to user inputs and then bring it here, and then I will just ask it to I can just ask it here, what is your audience? What is your audience? What is your audience? And then I will connect this to here. And then if I start this again, let me add it. Preview coming. So ask it here, what is your audience? We have less than 6 minutes. What is your audience? So if I do this, I just added another step. I did not have to go back to ChatGPT to tell you what I want. So if I click here, it will ask me to specify my target audience. So I write here TikTok. I come here, it asks me to paste my script, why your circuit trips off. And then if I click it again, what is your audience? You see? So I added this so I can write it that my audience is for that. Maybe I'm targeting people between, maybe let's say for example, I can say maybe homeowners, right? And then it will proceed to analyze the content for me. So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So let me now show you how to export your app. So when you are done, come to share, right? So you come to share, you click on share, and then you remember to come to this place and change it to anyone with the link. What that means is that anyone with the link can open it and use the app, right? So just wait, just give it some time. Then always remember to turn this off. Remember to turn this off. What that means is that the people with the link cannot edit, right, the app. So you now copy the link. After copying the link to the app, you click on done. So I'm going to paste the link immediately to our WhatsApp. I want everybody to try this app, this mini app that we just built together. I believe that this was very, very simple enough. So let's not complicate things. This is where we are going to stop today. We have just 5 minutes left, and this call will go off in 5 minutes. So is there any questions so far? You've gotten the assignment. I'm still going to paste the assignment for you people, and the video will be up. So far, is there any question? Is there any question so far? No question. So I'm assuming that everything was very simple and clear. So that means you're all going to build your app this week. Submit it. I'm going the assignment link will be out. So you submit it and then paste it on your group so that the people
Hold
in
on,
your
wait
group.
on me.
All right. Do you have a question, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is your question?
First of all, let me appreciate the class has been ongoing. No, the last time I came on board was when we were talking about we were still working on podcasts, just creating podcasts. That was the last time I came. And since then,
No, that
I've been out to.
that class was for founders. This one is a combined class for both your class and the new. So this is more like a combined
So,
class.
okay, yeah, I'm yet to even understand how the segmentation of this learning.
All right,
I don't
it's
know
okay.
the founders and all of that yet. I attended a few classes then, and I'm just like recalling the last time that I registered my presence here. And since then, I've not really been having access to network. I've not been around. But now that I'm back, I watch closely to see that I partake in, to see where I can pick out from. But the good thing there is I can have access to some of the previous
Okay,
sections
please
which
let
are
me say
recorded.
something. If this trips off, because it will trip off automatically. If it trips off, I want you to join back, right? If it trips off, everybody just join back because it might trip off anytime. If it trips off, just click the link and join back. All right,
I'm not happy with schedule.
continue, sir. Continue,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so so that is that. I appreciate that, and we have the recorded sections. But then when I've been hearing about group, you make a submission to the group. I'm not sure that I've been grouped here, so I do not know team members who.
Hello, are you with us? All right, I think his network has. I think his network has gone off. I would reach out to him personally, and then we'll talk
The
about.
comedy. But I have done the right thing. And what I write is that one is logically based. So it's not something that is random where you think it really go viral for the average Nigerian mind. So I think I don't know if maybe as I'm saying to the wrong, and maybe not because I'm not doing it to farm engagement anyway, but I think it's just what I think is right to be put out there. So that's the only content that I create there. So if it's what we can work on also, I can also share the page so that we look at it. It's just something new that just coming up. But
Hello, sir. We missed most of what you were saying. I think your network went off. We're not hearing you at all.
so that is what we suffer here. So that the community, that the area of the content. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, just hold on. Let somebody else be talking so that let me put this thing on. Somebody else can come up. Let
Okay.
me change the
Is
difference.
there who else has a question? Is there any other question so far? Mr. David, no question from your end.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I really want to ask if this app can be used to it can be created through phone. You were using a laptop, if I guessed, and I don't know if it can also be used. It can be used through
Okay,
any
what you do when you want to create it, put your phone in desktop mode. Put your Chrome. If you are using
in a
Chrome,
desktop.
yes, put it in the desktop mode.
Yes, using phone.
Yes, put it in desktop
Okay,
mode. That should work. But at the same time, while you're putting
okay,
in desktop mode, also plan for your laptop. Maybe by December you should have one because you cannot escape it. You definitely need it. So just plan ahead of time
definitely.
for it. Yes.
Yes, I'm I'm working towards it already.
All right, sir. All right, sir. So
Yeah, I'm
you
working
can do it
towards
with
it.
desktop mode.
So you say through Chrome, right?
Yes, you can use Chrome and use desktop mode on Chrome. It will
Okay.
work because Chrome. You
Desktop
know that
mode on Chrome.
this app is powered by Google.